A wide variety of steaks work for this recipe. The trick is knowing how to handle each one properly. These are 2 pieces of sirloin tip, totaling about a pound and a half. The sirloin tip is lean and on the tougher side when it comes to steaks. Not the best for a quick stir fry, but with the right prep it won't matter. I had these in the freezer for about 30 minutes to firm them up. That makes slicing way easier. Before cutting, we need to find the grain. That's just the direction the muscle fibers are running. If you cut with the grain, the fibers stay long and the meat ends up chewy. But if you cut against the grain, the fibers are shorter and the beef's much more tender. I'm also slicing as thin as possible. If the beef wasn't semi-frozen, it would be squishing and sliding all over the place. With tender cuts like strip line or rib eye, cutting against the grain is still ideal, but they're a lot more forgiving. You could slice them thicker and still get a soft bite. See how the muscle fibers are short and clean here? If I had cut this with the grain, it would look stringy and it would chew like that too. Another way to help tenderize tougher cuts is with a marinade. Baking soda is great for that. It's used in a lot of Chinese stir fries to break down muscle fibers, but I'll be using a less aggressive marinade today. Start with about half a tablespoon of chopped garlic, then half a tablespoon of grated ginger. Add a tablespoon and a half of all-purpose seasoning. This is freshly ground allspice. I'm using about 2 teaspoons. Next, season lightly with salt and pepper. Then add about 1/4 cup soy sauce. Finally, give that a mix. This marinade is a gentle tenderizer. The ginger has enzymes and the soy sauce brings salt and acids that help break down muscle proteins and lock in moisture. It's not nearly as strong as baking soda, but it does a decent job. I'm also adding a tablespoon of homemade browning. Besides color, homemade browning adds that wok-style flavor. That's what you get when stir fries hit really high heat. Many regions have their own take on pepper steak, but Jamaican pepper steak was heavily influenced by Chinese indentured workers who came to the island in the mid-1800s. They are a big reason soy sauce became a staple in many Jamaican dishes, from brown stew and beef patties to even some jerk marinades. We've also got Jamaican style versions of sweet and sour, chow mein, chop suey, and fried rice, all rooted in Chinese cooking but adapted with local ingredients and island techniques. This is looking real good. The marinade needs a little time to do its thing, so I'm going to wrap it up and let it sit for about 30 minutes. For the best flavor, I'm browning the beef. This is a heavy cast iron pan with a splash of oil. Cast iron holds heat really well, which helps us get that deep sear. Just make sure the pan gets ripping hot. I'm browning the beef in batches, just a little at a time. That way I don't crowd the pan and slow down the browning. No, I don't have the intense heat of something like a wok where each piece browns in seconds, so instead I'm focusing on getting a solid sear on just one side. That gives me similar flavor and texture without overcooking the meat. I'm also trying to undercook the beef a bit, so I'm giving each piece just a few minutes on one side. Some of them will still be pretty pink, that's fine. They'll keep cooking after I take them out of the pan. We're aiming for that sweet spot where the steak is juicy and tender. If I go past it, the meat gets tough, and then I'll have to cook it way longer just to get it soft again. Once all of our beef is browned, it's time to move on to the aromatics. I'm making sure to remove any bits of seasoning that might burn. If the pan looks dry, go in with another splash of oil. Next, add about a tablespoon of chopped garlic. Then about half a cup of sliced onion. That's about 1 medium onion. These aromatics are going to build a really flavorful base, so saute them until they start to brown and get fragrant. Next, add a cup of sliced carrots. Carrots and tomatoes are both popular in Jamaican pepper steak. I like to cut the carrot thick so they keep a bit of crunch. Now for the key ingredient, sweet pepper. That's about 1.5 to 2 cups. This is peppered steak, so I'm being generous. Some people only use green peppers since they hold their crunch longer, but others prefer the mix of colors, red, yellow and green for a pop of vibrancy. Technically, if you left out the peppers, it wouldn't be peppered steak anymore, but honestly, it could still be a banger stir fry. So adjust this to your taste. Give everything a quick saute for about a minute, then go ahead and add back the brown beef. Now, keep in mind, while the beef was resting, it kept cooking a little. So at this stage, we're not trying to cook it too much more, just wrap up the dish without overdoing it. I've seen some peppered steak recipes go for 30 to 40 minutes, but a good steak prepared right really only needs about 10 minutes or less of total cook time. This is looking great, but a little dry. It needs one final thing, so let's fix that next. Pepper steak cooks fast, so it's best to prep this ahead of time. Start with 1 cup of water. Then add half cup soy sauce. Dark soy sauce works great here too. It gives the sauce a richer color and deeper flavor. Instead of fresh tomatoes, I'm using half a cup of tomato ketchup. That adds acidity and a nice body to the sauce. Next, about 1.5 tablespoons of oyster sauce. This brings that deep savory umami flavor that really levels up the dish. And finally, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch to help thicken up everything. Give it a good mix until the cornstarch fully dissolves, and just like that, the sauce is ready to go. Pour that sauce into the pan and let it thicken. Jamaican pepper steak is more like a stew than a stir fry, so add as much sauce as you like. I'm adding a few slices of scotch bonnet at the end for that bright heat and signature scotchy flavor. Not quite thick enough? No problem. Just mix a bit more cornstarch with some leftover sauce and stir that in. Give that another minute and we're looking lovely. To finish, I'm adding some chopped scallion greens for a pop of freshness. And that is it. Jamaican pepper steak. Rich, savory, velvety sauce, perfectly cooked veggies and tender beef. This smells amazing. This is mostly had with rice and peas for Sunday dinner, but trust me, it's just as good with plain white rice. White rice is like a blank canvas for all this flavor packed goodness. Is it a stir fry or a stew? I don't know, all that matters is that this is delicious. Sirloin tip is a tougher cut, but with the right prep and quick cooking, this came out incredibly tender. So, grab your favorite steak and give this quickie a try. I'm Nick and this was very tasty. Like the video if you got some value from it and share it with someone who loves good food. Thanks for watching, big up to all the new subbies and bless up.